morning. Well, it's been good to be home just for a few days, and I didn't really get to see everybody, and I know some people are stuck at home, and that's all right. But Cody asked me really quickly just to open up the Bible and give a devotional, so I'm thankful for that opportunity. So today we're going to be reading in Proverbs 3, verses 5 and 6. Proverbs 3, verses 5 and 6, the Bible says, "Trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not unto thine own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths." Now, one of the things that we say really the most as Christians is simply trust in the Lord. You go to church, or you go and you talk to a friend, and you bring to them the fact that you might be struggling with something, or you bring to them the fact that life hasn't been as easy, or there's something really small that you feel that you don't know what you're going to do about it, and we just simply say to each other, trust the Lord. Now, as a Bible college student I'm only 20 years old, and there's not a whole lot in life where these earth-shattering moments have happened and I've had to simply trust the Lord, but there's been a couple. And I've learned that in those moments, it's so much easier to simply say, trust the Lord, than to actually do it. Now, in Proverbs chapter 3, verses 5 and 6, when we are instructed to trust in the Lord with all of our hearts and lean not unto our own understanding, that's a very famous verse. It's a verse that it seems like everybody knows. It's a verse that we often have kids memorize, whether it's in their Wednesday night program or Sunday school, and we have them memorize it, and they know it for so long that it's very easy to just say without actually know how to live it. And in these past couple of years, even since I moved out and gone to college, there have been several situations in my life where the Lord has taught me I just need to trust him. I need to trust him no matter what the situation looks like and no matter what it looks like is going on around me. I'm instructed to trust the Lord with all of my heart and to lean not unto mine own understanding. I remember when our tour group was traveling in Kearney, Nebraska, and we decided that we would drive halfway to a church because it was a few hours away, and then we were going to stay at a hotel for the night. And when we got to that hotel, it started raining a lot, and it didn't seem like a problem, and we were on the 4th floor of the hotel, and so we spent the night. And when we woke up in the morning, we were getting evacuated from the hotel. One of the employees busted down our door, and they said to leave all of our stuff and make it to the stairwell. I looked out the window, and the parking lot's filling up with water. And we began to worry, and we began to wonder what's going on. And there was a flash flood. And so what we did was we grabbed our backpacks, and we grabbed whatever we could carry on our backs, and we went out to the hallway, and we didn't know what was going to happen. And in that moment, all we could do was trust in the Lord. And it seemed difficult because at the time there wasn't much we could do to change our situation. What I've been learning is when there's not much we can do to change our situation, that's when really the only time we can trust in the Lord, because when we have control over everything in our lives and when we have control over every little thing in our lives, we don't need God to do it for us. Or at least that's what we think. We think that if I can fix this myself, then I forget to pray. Or if I can fix this myself, I'm not going to acknowledge God in all that I'm doing. I'm not going to acknowledge him in all my ways and have him direct my paths. So what happened was we evacuate the hotel, and we're walking through water up to our knees, and they load most of the residents of the hotel onto this school bus. And we get on the bus, and then they start to drive, and the bus gets stuck, and it starts to tip a little bit, and the water starts to fill up in the bus just along the floor, and people are screaming and crying, and a boat pulls up to us in the middle of the street, and the women and children get off, and they climb into the boat, and it looked like something right out of a movie, and it was pretty crazy to be in a situation like that. And this whole time we're going, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? What do we do? But we had to trust the Lord. So they managed to, an actual bulldozer came and pushed the bus out, and we were able to get unstuck. And then we drove the bus up and got to some dry land. And then they said that they were going to house us at the University of Nebraska. And so we went to the University of Nebraska, and we got signed up at the Salvation Army to sleep for the night. And this whole time we're looking at the situation. And as we pulled out of the parking lot of the hotel, our tour van that had all sorts of books and CDs and the vehicle itself, and a lot of our clothes were in there, and some of the money that we needed to travel, it was all in there. And the van is about half covered in water. And so we're thinking to ourselves, that's it. The van is ruined. There's nothing else we can do. And we weren't trusting in the Lord. We weren't looking at something where we were completely out of control, and we gave up and said, that's it. So anyways, we go to the University of Nebraska, and we were supposed to go to a meeting that night, and it got canceled because all we had were shorts and T-shirts and backpacks, and we didn't exactly have a vehicle to get to the next meeting. And we're sitting there at the hotel, or at the University of Nebraska, and the people that were organized in taking in all of the people who were stranded, they got a hold of our tour leader and said, we heard that there's a singing group here, and we kind of want to get people encouraged and lift their morale a bit, so we'd love for them to come and listen to us, or we'd love for them to come and sing to us. And at the time, I think a few guys, or a couple guys in our group, including myself, didn't have the best attitude about that, because all we were thinking is what we had maybe lost, or all we were thinking is the fact that we weren't able to get on the road and travel, and we were wondering if the van was destroyed and everything inside of it. And we just weren't trusting the Lord. But dragging our feet, we went down there, and they set up an electric piano, and we had the opportunity to, a small group of 12, 13, 15 people, to sing songs about the gospel and to share the gospel with them. And it turns out that the local paper and the news had come, and they had recorded us, and they ended up putting us in the paper and shared the message of the gospel in the paper as well. And we were able to give the gospel to those people. So at the time, something was happening to us, and we didn't know how it was going to work out, when the whole time God had a greater purpose for our group. When the whole time what we should have been doing was trusting in the Lord with all of our hearts and leaning not unto our own understanding. We should have been acknowledging God in all of our ways and went down to sing with a better attitude and went down to share the gospel with a better attitude. But God was able to take the poor situation we were in and use it for His glory, and it would have been a lot greater if we had simply trusted in Him. So the next day, a pastor came and picked us up, and we ended up doing a meeting that night anyway. And the next day, he drove us back, and as we went to the hotel to check on the van, when a lot of the water had cleared out, we were expecting the van to be totaled because most of the other cars that were in the parking lot were totaled. But our van, actually, it started right up. Nothing was damaged on the inside, and we took it to a shop, and within 30 minutes of them checking on it and getting a little water out here and there, they sent us on our way, and we were able to travel. And one thing that I learned out of all of that is that a situation may look a certain way, and a situation may look difficult, and a situation may look like you don't understand what's going to happen. But if you take that situation and you decide to trust the Lord and lean not unto your own understanding and acknowledge the Lord in all of your ways, God's going to bless that. And God's in control whether you trust Him or not, so you might as well put your soul at ease and decide to trust Him. So these situations, they say that Bible college is training for the ministry, and I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying every class, but I also know that a lot more of the things that I'm learning and the things that God is going to use in the ministry one day have simply come from serving the Lord and gaining the experiences that come with that, and learning that every day we need to be trusting in the Lord with all of our hearts and leaning not unto our own understanding, and simply acknowledging God in all of our ways, and then He will direct our paths. It's a lot easier to simply tell somebody else, trust in the Lord, until the situation is difficult for yourself, or it's easy to tell someone else to just acknowledge God in all of your ways. But what we need to be doing is encouraging other people to trust in the Lord, and that's a lot easier for other people to do when we have taken that and decided to do it with our own lives, and we've decided that we as an individual Christian are going to trust the Lord no matter what comes. We're going to trust the Lord no matter the difficult situation, no matter if the province says that we can't go to church for a certain amount of time, or we can only have 10 people in service, or we're going to trust the Lord when a loved one gets COVID, or we're going to trust the Lord when there's not enough money to go around. We're simply going to trust the Lord and acknowledge Him in all of our ways, and then let Him be God and allow Him to direct our paths.